Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my practical chess exercise for the day. This month, each month I'm going to be using like different material. I might come back to some old stuff, but this month I'm going to be using Jacob Aagaard's book called Excelling at Positional Chess. And I guess there's 28 days in February, so we will be looking at the first 28 puzzles in this book. There's puzzles in the back of the book, like kind of training puzzles. I don't know the answers to them. So all of these puzzles will be positional in nature. And probably next week, because we do the endgame studies, those are more tactical anyway, so I feel like positional play, it makes sense. So it's white to move here. I remember these puzzles, like, when I was a kid, like a long time ago, I glanced at a few of them. I remember they were, like, exceptionally hard, so I don't know how much time I'm going to spend. What's the point of this puzzle? Black would like to go knight e5 to c6 to d4, maybe. Seems like a kind of typical thing for black to do. So what's the answer, yo? I don't know. Let's see. The bishop on g7 is pretty good. I mean, knight b5. He can take on b2. Huh. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I mean, knight to d5, he can take on b2. I can't figure out how much I care about him taking that pawn off. I just don't like this knight. I don't like this knight getting to e5, c6, and then d4. So let's say we make a random move, right? I mean, I'm just gonna keep making random moves, all right? Like, it's just a little annoying to me. That's all. So I gotta figure out what white should play. I'm having trouble coming up with like any brilliant ideas here. F4 looks over. It looks like we're overextending our position when we play a move like F4. Bishop g4. Here's the thing. You look at this position. Our bishop is bad, right? So, I mean, I guess my first instinct would be bishop g4 and to just, like, take on e6. Yeah, I guess so. Because these squares and, like, we're kind of, this has no control, the bishop on e2 over the d4 square. And it's blocked by the pawns on, like, c4 and e4. So I think I'm comfortable with my answer. I'm going to go with bishop to g4. Now I have to do the time-tested, difficult thing of looking at the answer. Oh, you know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm not going to look at the first... I'm not going to look at them in order. Because basically what happens is... when you look at the answer, you often accidentally look at answer number 2. So I'm going to look at like puzzle 1, 11, 21. That way, if I happen to look at an answer, I won't get to that puzzle for so long that I'll probably forget it. So, solutions to exercises. This is again Andersson, Vaganian. I'm going to read the explanation to you. Actually, I'm not. I don't want to like steal everything from his book. What the hell's the answer? Rook c2! Oh man! Rook c2 to d2. So as the rook on f1 might support f4, it is good for now. It is also hard to say where the queen is best placed. Only the rook on c1 needs to be improved, and b2 leads in a little protection. So, I mean, rook c2 makes a lot of sense, of course. Just put the rook on d2. Let's see what Houdini thinks, just out of curiosity. Houdini has no positional feel, obviously. Alright, it does not like to just take on e6 like a donkey. It's interesting, though, because, like, bishop didn't seem that good. Basically, the idea is just rook c2 to d2. I mean, whether it's the absolute best move or not, I don't know. But the real question we have to answer... See, here's the problem with a lot of these books. they're not good at predicting other people's wrong guesses and explaining why they're not correct. They're just going to tell you what the right move is. So, like, I mean, you know, I'm an international master, I guess this move. There needs to be, like, it's not so obvious why it's bad, because this bishop does look pretty bad. I mean, the downside is you greatly improve black's pawn structure, and black is like an open file. And it can still, you can kind of like still come to d4 and try to bolster it with e5 somehow. Like, for example, Houdini in the original position likes queen d2 the most. But, you know, hard to say whether that's true or not, or whether it's the best move or not. But rook c2 to d2. I mean, I think it's a perfectly reasonable move. I think it's probably better than mine. The question we have to ask is, why is this bishop trait not good? Because you look at it, blocked by the own pawns, whereas this knight controls a lot of key squares. It's mainly the d4 square. So why is it not good to trade this bishop for this knight? It's a critical question. I mean, you look at a position like this. Let's say we go knight to e2, for example. I'm going to put a Houdini on just for fun. Queen c2, and basically black is just slowly just consolidating everything here. In the game, when we go rook c2, okay, so like, let's say knight e5 now. Rook to d2. And we've completely frustrated their plan of knight c6 to d4. I just want to check this out, though. Let's just put the knight here and see what happens. It's interesting. So white just plays around the knight. I mean, I gotta be honest, it's like, I look at the explanation to this puzzle, and I don't believe it kind of explains things well enough. Rook c2, let's look at how the game went. a6, rook to d2, knight to d4, and then take, rook takes. This is a typical exchange sacrifice, because this is weak, and then knight to d5. Let's see what Houdini thinks. Yeah, white's better. We have a pawn for the exchange, and we have a beautiful square on d5 for the knight. So white should be pretty happy here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I agree with the answer. I mean, I agree with the answer. I just don't feel like the presentation. Like, I think rook c2 is a totally fine move with the idea of rook d2, but I'm not convinced that it's like so obviously good, and I'm not convinced in the sense that there's just a lot of things weren't explained to me the way I wanted them to be. It also defends the b2 pawn, though, which is certainly worth noting. Like, what if knight b5 here? Just a6. All right, and if take, there's some pin. Rook d2, bishop f8. And the knight has nowhere to go. Yeah, because in the game, black went a6 to stop knight b5, but perhaps they didn't have to waste a move to do that. You know, I mean, I'm definitely, you know, Jacob Aagaard, we're about the same level. So, and this was written before, like, Vaganian and all that stuff. So I'm sure there are going to be times where I just don't agree with his answer. I don't think it's wrong. I just don't think it's a good position. I don't think it's like a clear example of like a definite right move. Like, I'm still like not 100% convinced that this is definitely the best move. I do agree that it's better than my move. I'm not convinced because other options aren't like really mentioned at all. And black is playing substandard moves like a6 in a position like this, which kind of just illustrate. It just makes the move look better, you know. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I mean, it is a multi-purpose move. I mean, it does look sort of nice to me. I have a hard time criticizing it. really. I mean, I think it's, from a practical standpoint, it may be the best move in the position. I don't love the position that much, though. Alright, that's the end. This video is going way too long. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.